Welcome back to the GC channel. I'm your host, Orlando Casares, the president and founder of First Law International. If you're new with us, welcome. This is a channel especially for you, for the GCs and for in-house legal teams, and is powered by General Counsels. We'll be covering today some of the trendiest topics, things that keep you up at night, and we hope that you will find the next few minutes invaluable and very insightful. So follow us along. Welcome to the GC channel. This is the place where leaders in the legal industry and influential profile individuals come together to discuss trending topics and other general subjects of interest to a global audience. Today, it's my privilege to interview Vincent Pringiers, who is the General Counsel for Max & Wheels. We will hear a little bit more from him in a minute. But it's very interesting because Vincent needs no introduction. He is a well-known client for First Law International and someone with whom we're collaborating in a number of jurisdictions on some very interesting subjects. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to officially welcome Vincent Pringiers. Vincent, welcome to the GC channel. How are things right now in Vienna, Austria?
As we speak, very hot. It's about 35 Celsius today, as I've mentioned to you as we got going with this call, Orlando. It's a little bit of a funny summer. As you know, I'm living between Luxembourg and Vienna, and there is about a 12 or 14 degrees difference between both cities. At the same time, we're only a few hundred kilometers away from both places. So I'm glad to be with you today. Obviously, I didn't prepare anything specific, so I welcome any questions you may have, and that may actually, tickle my brains or imagination, and hopefully serious answers, nevertheless, about current topics.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, and again, just thrilled to have you. I know that. We do, when we, at the GC channel, we take the global audience perspective very seriously. And here we have today a globalist. Vincent is someone who is a Belgian by birth, who lives in Luxembourg, who works in Austria, who went to school in the US, and who has raised his family in a very international, non-traditional way. So I think that for the global audience that we have and other GCs around the world, listening to your insights are going to be very fascinating. Now, I'm always, taken by the way people express themselves when they write about themselves. And in preparing for the interview, we did some research. And of course, we found that the way you profile yourself to the media and to the world is that you are considered a trusted, solutions-focused, and results-oriented international business lawyer with experience in multiple regions around the world. Now, I couldn't have said it better because I happen to know you now, but in putting all these ingredients together, a trusted, solution-focused, results-oriented international business lawyer, what would you say to the audience, to the GCs, older and younger that are out there, when they look at someone like you who's very seasoned in the international world? What would be some just good tips and general advice?
Certainly, the first thing that would come to my mind, Orlando, is that our legal profession has certainly gone a long way in the last several decades. From being legal only focused on, well, you are the lawyer, therefore, you have an office assigned to you either in a law firm or in a corporation, and people come and consult you from time to time, more likely than not, when a problem arises, when maybe a claim is being made by a customer or by a supplier or by anyone else. And at that point of time, obviously, lawyers were always quite useful in finding solutions to the problem. I would simply say that corporations and many other businessmen have figured out over the years that involving lawyers at that time was actually already too late. It's probably a lack of a good contract that might not be in place and that might have anticipated the problem you could have later on, or simply an absence of the legal mind being brainstormed with at the time you are doing your contract or your business transaction, that would have been in the room, that would have been on a call. Nowadays, obviously, we don't have that many live meetings anymore, but to kind of, hey, you've been around for a certain amount of years. What can you tell us? Have you seen it before? So I really think that our profession has moved from being a reactive one to solve problems, to be given an opportunity by leaders who actually have seen the value that it can create for their organizations, for themselves, to be much more proactively involved in discussions early on, to anticipate and to take decisions on the basis of a kind of risk-adjusted thinking. Now, people often look at the word risk as the lawyers is risk averse. So what does it mean? They're generally zero risk, and they don't want to be doing anything else than let's do it according to the law. Well, that's not the right approach either. The right approach is to be able to understand what the business wants and to find the solution that will enable the business to take the right decision, to go forward with maybe the least cost or the lesser financial misopportunity, if I can call it that way, knowing the different risks of doing things in a different way. And of course, when you look at the word risk, there are the areas where you cannot go, and this is where the lawyer, as also a compliance person and a person moved by the integrity that we should have the ability to come in and say early on, also in view of a transaction or a contract or any other topic that may come forward, no, you cannot do that. This is not even thinkable, because the law will take you into a criminal area. So by this proactive approach, those discussions, being at the table of the most important, sometimes even the less important discussions in an organization, lawyers have had the ability to, blend their legal acumen together with business acumen, understanding the business, understanding what the business wants to achieve, allows you to be solution driven, to take the right decisions. Often, I still hear that lawyers are not decision makers and that decision making belongs to the business person. Well, I say yes to that, because obviously that is the way that things often still are in an organization. A lawyer, a tax manager, a compliance professional are functions supporting the business, supporting sales, supporting business development, supporting supply chain, etc. But very often, the decision that is being taken will be mirroring what different voices, including the legal person in the room, has to say and has to contribute. So we are far away from this era where we were sitting in an office waiting for the problem to come forward, and we have transformed ourselves. And the younger generation should understand that the environment, the corporate environment, is recognizing this, and so we've gone a long way also from that period. I remember that I was interning in New York City at the end of the 80s, early 90s. I also had a master's degree that I took at New York University. You've done your research, Orlando. I know that. I'm not there to talk about that. I'm there to talk about, I had a mentor, and if he were listening to me today, which maybe he won't, but if he were listening to me today, he would recognize the fact that he told me probably 2 or 3 times, young gentleman, Make sure that when you go back to Belgium or wherever you go to one of those reputable law firms, because this is where you will gain your legal skills to the better extent. And you know what? There is only one breed of legal professionals in the world. These are the associates and the partners in the good old traditional law firm environment. Why is that? Because in our American environment, and we are in the late 80s at that point of time, it is a subpar profession to be in-house legal counsel. I think we have gone a long way to demonstrate that that is absolutely no longer the case. Although I would say that even in a European environment or in a Middle East, Asia environment, South America environment, there is still that perception from time to time with certain individuals and with certain business leaders that, the lawyer comes after the business decision has been taken and it's up to him to put everything in good music rather than contributing to the decision. I'm fine with that too, as long as people would still understand at that point of time that if there would be a very good reason to bring one or the other alternative solution up, that there would be a listening ear and a potential to maybe still move things around a little.
Well, thank you for watching. If you would like to see more videos like this one, subscribe to the channel and press the notification button below so that you will be alerted when new videos come out. We hope that you've enjoyed it, and we look forward to the next one. And don't forget, you heard it here first.